Hello, this is the Animation Fanatic. Welcome back. Right after my little sort of talk about what's going to happen, but here is the Legend of Korra Book 4 Episode 1 review. Yay! Let's start the review. Well, what can I say about this? I've really enjoyed this. As you know, I've really enjoyed this series so far, and I've loved it a lot since I first saw it, through its ups, through its downs, through everything. And this is really great, not having to wait for a whole year for a new episode. This is actually quite sudden. I wasn't expecting it to have the fourth season. They must have filmed and done it back to back, because that's the only explanation. Either that, or they really rushed things, which I hope they didn't, because it doesn't look like they did. It looks like a good finished product, but. Yeah, let's talk about this episode. This will have spoilers in it. As you know, if you see my reviews, this will have spoilers. But I'll do a little bit of a non-spoiler for you. Although if you've been you're probably not coming into this as a complete stranger to the Legend of Korra. But anyway, this is a fairly solid episode. It introduces us. It shows us what the characters have been doing. More or less, it leaves some questions unanswered to be answered farther on. It gives us an idea of what the struggles, what some of the issues are, but we're not sure where the main plot is going yet, and that's what's interesting. It's been heavily suggested who the villain is, but we're not sure how she's going to be villainous. We have an idea, but we're not sure. We've been introduced to kind of the world, kind of what's going on. We know there's some stuff left unsaid. We know there's some things that we haven't discovered yet. And we need to get ready to learn more about these different... there's more to learn, but they introduce us nicely into the world. I'm surprised it's not a three-parter episode, or even two-parter. This is actually the first time this hasn't happened. Previous premieres were like a two-part episode or a three-part episode, like last seasons. But this is different, so I'm anxious to see what they're going to do. This is going to be a short season, which I'm disappointed in. I think it's 13 episodes, like the last season and the first. I really like the longer season 2 arc, and I wish that they would do that again. But perhaps they thought it floundered too much. I do think season 2 was probably the weakest of the seasons so far. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, now that I've done, like I said, good episode. Check it out. I don't think you'll be terribly disappointed. I don't think you'll be terribly disappointed in anything. There's a lot. It shows you what's been going on. It gives hints of what's to come and leaves unanswered questions. It's a good season premiere. My favorite. I don't know. Yeah, possibly. I'm not sure. But anyway, spoiler review part. Yay! So, as I said, this shows you a lot of what's happening with the characters, but really this story is less Korra's, despite the fact that that's the title, than it is everyone else's. Korra, as you know, doesn't even show up until the very end. She's mentioned, but not overly much. I mean, yeah, she is, but it's mostly about what have the characters been doing and what are they doing at the moment. And even then, you get some unanswered questions, like why is Opal so mad at her brother? What happened between her mom and possibly her brother and Kuvira? Why is Kuvira leading this big army? How did she get into this position of power? Is she really working for the Earth Prince? Because they introduced this really funny new character, Prince Wu. I think he's hilarious. I don't know if he's going to be. Well, we still have Varric, but he's kind of reminds me of that sort of Varric quality of comedy. He's pretty funny, and he's supposed to be the next Earth King, but as you can see, he's kind of ditzy. And it's interesting what they kind of introduced with the politics here, because in the last season, you had people who supported the Emperor, like Empress, the Earth Queen, like Bolin and Mako's grandma, but you've also got people who were opposed to her, not just the Red Lotus, but also bandits, too, who were kind of roving around the Earth Kingdom. And now you've got this new, not only do you still have bandits, but you've got this new group. You've got Kuvira and her soldiers. I don't know how many of them are benders, how many of them are not. I don't know. The bender anti-bender thing seems to have gone away for the moment. Missed opportunity. Anyway, Kuvira's trying to establish order, trying to bring the Earth Kingdom back together. And we see actually that she even has supporters, which is really interesting. The people who throw pies at Prince Wu aren't anti-order. They're anti-monarchy because they're pro-Kuvira. Doesn't Kuvira remind you, and that's what I've been thinking, a lot of the Legend of Korra seasons have had something to do with politics. We've had socialism, progressivism with I'm not saying those two are the same thing, I'm just saying it reminds me of a lot of stuff from the early 20th century. We've got socialism, kind of socialism with Amon, maybe more progressivism with some of his other followers, Sami's dad, but socialism with Amon, radicalism. We've got equality, basically. We've got, I don't know, maybe extreme monarchy, extreme fundamentalism, maybe authoritarian. I would have said authoritarianism, but I'm going to get into Kuvira, which I think is more her. But we've got sort of that with Unalaq. We've got anarchy with Zahir, fairly simple. Of all the villains, yeah. And now we've got Kuvira, which is probably going to be order. A nice opposite dichotomy to Zahir's sort of anarchy. We've got order now, and maybe fascism. You'll notice the uniforms are sort of, the uniforms, the flags, a lot of the orderly ranks kind of remind me a little bit of Nazi Germany, a little bit of the stormtroopers. The haircuts, a little bit, stormtroopers from Star Wars, but yeah, I guess you could say stormtroopers from Nazi Germany. But the haircuts a little bit remind me of kind of fascist-like haircuts, the uniforms. So it's very interesting, and it's also interesting how Kuvira is sort of running this protection racket. You know, she's forcing people to join her unless they hand total control over to her. But she's not being malicious, other than refusing to help unless they agree to be under her control. Her soldiers come in and they do help people. They do genuinely seem to like helping the people. But, yeah, she's very, she is kind of extorting them. And if you'll notice, and I know people have pointed this out, when Opal and Kai got attacked in the air, and seeing the picture of it, the guy who attacked them in the air looked a lot like one of the guys that Kuvira captured. It would make sense, though. She wanted control, and how would the bandits get biplanes? I can understand trucks, maybe, because they have had trucks in the past, but a biplane? And how would they know to attack in the air? And where did Kuvira get that food? That's another thought. Well, she probably had it anyway. But anyway, it's interesting to see. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with her and what they're going to do with her ideology. Is she going to really hand the Earth Kingdom over to Prince Wu, or is she going to do something different? Is she going to try to establish a dictatorship? And where is Korra going to play into all this? Is she going to try to stop her, or what? What about Bolin and Mako? Are they going to be pitted against each other? Opal and Bolin were already having conflict thanks to this. They're not really on opposite sides, but just differing sides. But like I said, we get introduced to the characters. We get to see a lot of what they've been doing. Maybe not a ton of what they've been doing, but a decent amount, and how they're reacting to the situations they face currently. And it's really interesting. I like where they went with everything. Like I said, I like Prince Wu. I thought he was funny. I thought Mako could be funny as well, a little bit, or at least in his interactions with Prince Wu. I like where they're going with Kuvira. I'm interested to see how she becomes more villainous. I'm interested to see more of the politics of the Earth Kingdom and whatnot. And, yeah, what's happened to Korra? Whatever happened to her, as she said? I know she said she wouldn't know, but I'm curious to see what has been going on with her. What is she thinking? Why has she been retired for these past 3 years? And how is she going to feel coming into this new world that needs the Avatar less and less? I mean, if I was her, I'd be kind of pissed that the Airbenders are sort of taking my place and doing all these things. Oh, by the way, I don't really mind the Airbender outfits so much as I mind the flying squirrel wings. I mean, I know they're practical, but what is this, After-Earth? If I could say anything else, like I said, it's nice to see characters, both major and supporting, from the hobo in the park to Varric and Julie. The music is very nice in this. It's fairly distinctive to me, especially the theme played at the beginning of the episode and also during the princess scenes. It's fairly distinctive, just like in this first season where the large big band music was also fairly distinctive. This one's a lot more subtle and playful, but it is interesting. One complaint I do have is that the okay, first I might mention, I do like the train. I do like that we have trains now. I don't think we've actually shown trains before, and I find it interesting Kubira is traveling around in those instead of airships. Wouldn't airships be easier considering the chaos? But I guess if you lay tracks, you're establishing a more permanent foundation onto the territory. But I find it interesting that she's using trains, and also extorting, like getting bandits who she captures to follow her instead of just killing them or imprisoning them or banishing them or something. She gets them to follow her. I guess she's sort of operating off the honor system, that they're not going to desert or betray her at any point, but I guess they're probably terrified of her. I would be too. Okay, I don't think she's that scary, but you know, she could probably hurt me. Definitely hurt me. Anyway, as I said, I like the music. It was fairly distinctive. My one complaint though is that the Jeeps that the bandits were driving look way too modern. I liked in the first season how it was sort of a 20s look, kind of a weird sort of steampunk 20s look, but some of the stuff is looking a little too modern. The train, yeah, perhaps the train even looks a little too modern. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad, but I know they're trying to get a little bit of a futuristic element in here with the mechs and whatnot, but still, I kind of wish they kept the 20s look. I know it's the desert, or not the desert, I know it's the Earth Kingdom, so they need more all-terrain like vehicles and not the Sato-mobile, but still, it's a little jarring for me. So that's my thoughts on Korra, and I look forward to whatever else is going to come.